You knew what they were going to say before they said it. You answered the call anyway. You already knew the apology was coming, and you already knew it meant nothing. But some part of you wanted to hear it one more time. That's not weakness. That's not naivety. That's something far more disturbing. Something almost nobody will ever explain to you. Because the strange part isn't that people walk over you. The strange part is that you keep opening the door for them. And before this video ends, you're going to find out why your own mind is doing this to you, and why the moment you understand it, you will never let it happen again. Stop. Read that again. Because what you're about to hear was never taught in school, never mentioned by your parents, and never written on a motivational poster. It was understood by one man 500 years ago who watched power rise and fall in front of his own eyes. His name was Niccolo Machiavelli, and he didn't write about being kind. He wrote about being seen clearly. And clarity, it turns out, is the one thing most people are terrified of. Here's the first hidden truth. Respect isn't lost the moment someone disrespects you. Respect is lost the moment you let them see that you'll allow it again. Think about that. Not the insult. Not the betrayal. The permission. Every time you smile through something that hurt you, every time you laugh off a comment that cut deep, every time you say it's fine when it wasn't fine at all, you are teaching another human being exactly how much of you they're allowed to take. People don't lose respect for you because you got hurt. They lose respect for you the second they realize hurting you costs them nothing. But here's where it gets darker. You think you're being patient. You think you're being forgiving. You think you're being the bigger person. Wrong. You're doing it because some part of you believes that if you just endure long enough, they'll finally see your worth. That your silence is a kind of proof. That your loyalty will eventually be rewarded with the love or the respect you've been quietly begging for without ever saying the words out loud. That belief is a trap. And it was built by design, not their design. Yours. Somewhere along the way, you learned that being needed felt safer than being respected. Because being needed keeps people close. But respect keeps people honest. And most people, if they're being truthful with themselves, would rather be loved badly than respected from a distance. But that's not the darkest truth. There's another reason people stop respecting you, and this one is far more dangerous because it has nothing to do with them at all. Remember this moment. We'll come back to it. Machiavelli understood something most people spend their whole lives avoiding, that mercy without limits doesn't look like kindness to the person receiving it. It looks like weakness. And weakness, no matter how well-intentioned, invites exploitation. Not because people are evil, because people are opportunistic. It's not personal. It's human nature. Mercy without boundaries becomes permission. Say that to yourself. Every time you excuse behavior that hurt you without requiring anything to change, you are not softening the other person's heart. You are lowering your own price. And once your price drops, it rarely goes back up on its own. But wait. There's a twist here that most people never see coming. The person disrespecting you isn't always doing it because they think less of you. Sometimes, and this is the part that will sting, they're doing it because you told them without words that it was safe to. Silence isn't peace. Sometimes it's surrender. And the moment you surrender quietly enough, often enough, you stop being a person to them and start becoming a pattern. Predictable, manageable, controllable, not because you're small. Because you made yourself easy. This is where most people lose. They mistake being easy for being good. They think if they just avoid conflict, avoid confrontation, avoid ever making anyone uncomfortable, they'll be remembered as kind. But nobody builds a legacy of respect by being agreeable. They build it by being unmistakably clear about where the line is and what happens when someone crosses it. But that's only half the story. Here's the part that changes everything. Machiavelli never said cruelty was the answer. That's the misunderstanding people carry his name around for centuries later. What he actually understood was colder and far more useful, that the world does not organize itself around good intentions. It organizes itself around consequences. If there is no consequence for disrespecting you, disrespect will keep arriving at your door, dressed differently every time, but always recognizable if you're paying attention. An apology without a changed behavior is not remorse. It is a strategy, a way to reset the clock so the same pattern can begin again from zero. Every apology is not regret. Sometimes it's strategy. Read that again because this single sentence will save you years of your life if you let it. Now here's the twist you didn't see coming. You have been blaming yourself for being too forgiving, too kind, too understanding. But those were never your flaws. Your only real mistake was mistaking access for love. You gave people unlimited access to your time, your energy, your emotional weight, and you called it devotion. But devotion without boundaries isn't devotion. It's abandonment of yourself, disguised as loyalty to someone else. This is the hidden reason people stop respecting you. Not because you loved too much, because you disappeared while doing it. And the moment you vanish from your own life to keep someone else comfortable, they will always sense it, even if they never say it out loud. People don't respect ghosts. They respect presence. So what does presence actually look like? It's not coldness. It's not cutting people off. It's not becoming someone hard and unreachable just to protect yourself. Presence is simply this: knowing exactly what you will and will not accept, and having the quiet, unshaken willingness to walk away the moment that line is tested, without announcing it, without threatening it, without needing anyone's permission to enforce it. That single shift, silent, internal, unnegotiable, is the difference between someone who gets walked over and someone who commands the room without raising their voice. Hope becomes dangerous when it refuses evidence. If someone has shown you who they are more than once, the tragedy isn't that they did it. The tragedy is how long you kept editing the story in your head to avoid seeing it clearly. Machiavelli's coldest insight, the one almost nobody quotes because it's uncomfortable, is this: it is safer to be feared for your standards than loved for your absence of them. You don't need to become someone people fear. You need to become someone people cannot predict will fold. Because respect was never about being liked. It was always about being unmistakable. So the next time someone tests your limits, remember the moment this video began. The call you knew you shouldn't answer, the apology you knew was empty. That moment wasn't proof that you're weak. It was proof that you already knew the truth, long before you were ready to act on it. Now you are. If this made you see someone or yourself a little differently, that thought deserves more than a scroll past. Say it in the comments. Someone reading your words tonight might finally recognize the same pattern in their own life, and your honesty could be the thing that breaks it for them too. Where in your life have you mistaken silence for peace?